Hey everybody,
Hitty hoo!
welcome to the StabCast. I'm Dan.
And I am Mindy. I guess Daniel is deciding to. Are you gonna go with Dan or are you gonna go with Dizzle?
I think I'm going to stay Dizzle for a
I'm
while.
gonna stay Dizzle for a little bit.
I'll
Okay.
stay Dizzle for a little while.
Alright. I can deal with it. It's okay. It's not the worst thing you've ever come up with in your life, so it's alright.
Everybody calls me Dizzle.
I think I'm the only person that doesn't. I call you D.
Yeah,
I've always called you D.
yeah, that's true. We're here for a big list tonight.
Oh gosh, yes. It's gonna be so much fun. Sorry, you were talking. Go ahead.
No. Our top 10 horror movie survivors. It's a big one. We did this a while ago, but now that we're on YouTube, we figure we give it another crack. I think our tastes have kind of changed too.
Yeah, and we also have I know I have over 500 movies in my arsenal.
Yeah.
So I know you have about 250,
maybe
maybe more.
Least. Yeah, probably.
So our lists are probably going to be different every time we do something like this. We're
true.
probably never going to run out of lists for top 10s. Because we have so much knowledge. And I'm not saying that cocky or anything else.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's the truth of the matter.
Truth of the matter, the fact.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't go back and listen, so it might be similar, but I don't know. But this is my list right now.
I didn't go back and listen either, but I know for a fact that it's completely changed.
Yes.
So let's open up our notebook. Daniel, open up your phone.
It's opened up.
Why don't you take us off then? What is your number 10?
My number 10, and just a brief criteria for this. All you need to do, male or female, this isn't like a final girl list. It's just even if it's a main character, a side character, as long as you were in a horror movie and survived that one horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you came back in the franchise and died or you died later on or whatever, as long as you made it out of one horror movie, then you're a horror movie survivor and
Absolutely.
you're eligible for this list.
Mm-hmm.
And that brings me to this one because this is kind of on that rule. And I have Randy from Scream. Played by...
I knew you were going to pick that, but it's okay. I didn't put it down.
Good. Jamie Kennedy, I thought he was perfect in that role in the first one. Coming in as a stand-up.
I thought I was going to die. I've never been so happy to be a virgin.
Yeah.
The second when you find out that he made out with that Karen Kolchak chick.
Yeah.
And that he's pretty sure he's going to die. And it's best kill, though. Best kill of Scream 2, I will have to say. Because it's in the middle of the day. You got people bumping around the freaking boom boxes and stuff.
That's true.
It's seriously so scary because of how real it is.
Yeah, it's pretty real.
So, but go ahead.
No, he's like the everyman in one of these, and that is you'll see on my list that is kind of big for me in these movies because that's relatability. Because a lot of times when you go into movies, when you're with your friends or whoever, you look at who am I most like who would I be in this movie?
And that's something me and you have actually done a lot.
Yeah,
through our growing up and everything, guys. I don't think you quite understand this when we said that we used to kind of LARP horror stuff. Yeah, we would come up with stories and roles. And,
but even as simple as that's me. And
well, I mean, when we watch a movie, remember House of Wax, and we had 5 people over, so we each assigned them a character.
Yeah, we were nerds. We were always nerds. But
yeah, but yet you never got picked on. That's what I don't get. You never got picked on. You're a nerd, but you never got picked on.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so my number 10 is
just a little more on Jamie Kennedy as Randy. No, you're good. It's just like I said, he's breaking that rule because he died in the second movie. He's not a franchise stalwart that stays throughout even though he does have an iconic presence in Scream, the fact that even in the new ones, his nieces and nephews are big part of the movie.
And actually, Easter egg for you real quick. That guy that dangles his keys and tells the girl that Mindy is leaving, I found out that's Jamie Kennedy.
Oh, yeah.
They don't show his face or anything, but it's him talking.
That's cool.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah, it's really awesome.
Yeah.
But I love his role in this as like kind of the nerdy friend because you don't expect him to make it.
He's
And
a
he
nerdy
almost did.
film geek, just like he said. Like if it was a horror movie, I know first off I would be the sole suspect.
Yeah. I think that was a big role for those movies that never in horror you didn't really have. That guy died a lot. So it was nice that he made it.
Yeah, it was nice.
All right, go ahead.
So mine is number 10 is Julie James from I Know What You Did Last Summer, and I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. Now, even though I don't really like the movies, he likes them. He likes them a lot. And I will have to say, Julie James has literally, like, if you can make me root for you while giving me a headache at the same exact time, then you're doing your job right.
Yes.
That girl could scream her lungs off and they'd hear her in Hong Kong.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, Jesus.
She was pretty
loud. I remember when we were younger, when we were watching that shit, we had to fucking turn it down because her screaming was so loud.
Yeah.
Like, oh, geez. Like, you got to be in a certain mindset to watch those movies just because of that shrill, that shriek that she has. It's, I mean, and not that it's not relatable or anything, because it kind of is. I mean, the story's also relatable. I mean, if you take it from these movies and not from the TV show. Yes. I'm sure you would agree with that, especially you being a partier and whatnot. And I know for a fact on your graduation night, you went out and partied. So, I mean, thank God nothing happened. Yeah. I mean, it was their last time that they were going to see each other for a while. So it was really intense. And it's like, wow, that could actually happen to somebody. Well, I never drove. So that was, I didn't have to. The big criteria. That's true. Too. And I have been a wild passenger in a few vehicles. So that, I mean, very well could have. I like her. One thing, first of all, I was asked my top 5, not to objectify women, but my top 5 most attractive ladies, and Jennifer Love Hewitt's on the list for like 100% of all time. She's like GOAT attractive. She is a beautiful one. And in these, she was peak with the bangs like in front of it. And she was just so hot. And I'm not trying like a rack for days. She definitely had a rack for days. And
but
they
just
were nice and perky, so you know that they were not something that she went and got. They were actually hers.
They're homemade. But in-house. They're in-house tits. But I thought she did a great job. She was a good final girl, and I think she knew the task at hand. Yeah. And like, of course, that this gets compared to Scream all the time as the other Kevin Williamson written piece around this time. And her performance is not Sydney's at all. No. But when you don't compare it to that, it's actually a really fun final girl performance, and I think she does a great job. I think this is a good spot. She wasn't on my list, but it's a good spot. She tries hard. But that's why she's at number 10, because she's not that successful. And her and Freddie Prinze Jr. might be the prettiest final duo together. I was looking for his name. I think it's Ray. I was going to put him on here, but then I decided, that'd be too predictable. Yeah, he's just a fisherman. Yeah. He's just a fisherman. Who cares about him? All right. I have a badass female at number 9. I know sci-fi is not a thing that we tackle a lot or that we really enjoy. I mean, I enjoy it a little more. We need to start getting into it, though. Yes. Yeah. I do. That's one genre we stray from, but that's my fault. Yeah, you're not a huge fan. I dip my toes into it sometimes, and when I do dip my toes, a classic is Alien, and I got to go with Ellen Ripley because you're going to go with Ripley? I just watched Alien the other day. Yeah, I mean, throughout the whole franchise, she's a badass. And like she made that role. Yeah, it's infamous with her. Absolutely. It's a character arc throughout. She starts a little more timid and then kind of grows badass as the whole franchise goes along. So it's a fun little character arc, and I think she's kind of like a female Ash in a way, I guess. Yeah. In a weird way. In a weird, awkward sort of way. I can see where they were going with it. But is it really Ash, or like Like a female, I don't know, like
Bruce Campbell does such a good job
yeah,
that it's hard to try and compare him to a female.
yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say.
But she did, and I think he might be talked about later. But I think she did a great job. And if you're an Alien fan, Ripley's the
we were
cat's
talking
bananas.
about Ripley.
Yeah.
We started talking about Evil Dead. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
No, Ripley really. I mean, I haven't seen all of Alien. Please don't go after me, horror community. I'm sorry.
I don't think they will.
I'm not a sci-fi person, but I have been trying to watch it. So I'm like 20 minutes in right now. But it is so boring. It is so boring. So I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying my hardest.
Alien?
Yeah, like the first 20 minutes that I went through, it's just like them hanging out, sleeping on the ship and shit.
Watch more of it. It's fucking awesome.
I'm going to watch more of it, just not right now.
Okay.
You can tell we're siblings.
Alien and Aliens are two really good but different movies. Because Alien is straight up like survival horror.
Did you know Prometheus was a prequel?
Yeah. Okay. And that's a great movie. And Alien Conjuring, from what I heard, is really good too. And that's
the reason why it's in theaters already?
Right now.
Okay, because that's what I'm watching Alien and Aliens for. So because that's the only two that are going to be canon. And the only reason I'm watching them is because I figured you wanted to go see the Aliens, the new Aliens.
Well, we can go see it whatever you want. You let me know. Yeah, Ripley's the cat's bananas. Who's your number 9?
My number 9 is, I don't remember his last name, but Chris from Get Out. He got so lucky. Because when he was strangling his girl and they were having that tussle and whatnot, I did not think that he was going to come on top. When I saw that police car and the sirens and stuff, I thought, oh my God, he's done. That white girl is going to push oh my God, the black guys hurt me. Please help me. Da, 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 da. Not saying everyone's like this. It's Hollywood.
Which, by the way, is the original ending of the movie.
Yeah.
If you look like Jordan Peele, and the way it was supposed to be written was him getting arrested, but he was like,
it was too dark.
Well, and I think he from what I heard, his explanation was it was supposed to reflect times, and he thought times were already like that was the predictable ending. I think he thought for a lot of people to do, so he wanted to make it a bit happier. And he think
it would have been predictable. Would it still have been a good movie? Absolutely, but it still would have been predictable.
Well, yeah, it's much more. That's a pretty big statement to put on it with it, though. It is talk about the police as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that was a hot topic, and it still is. But no, Chris was great in Get Out, and they did a great job. Hold the mic for a second.
I just think that he did a phenomenal job, especially because it was his TSA friend agent that came and got him. Thank God he had a friend. And he was so lucky. This guy had a golden horseshoe up his ass. He didn't really fight. He tried to fight. When the one hypnotism scene happened, and he took the cotton balls and put the cotton balls in his ears, so he didn't fall for it. That was creative. That was very creative. Did I steal one of yours? I'm sorry.
Yeah, Chris is next.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
We do this all the time.
It's okay. No, yeah. All right. My next up, because my backup, just in case, I just wanted to write it down. So just in case, I ever put these in a plaque, I don't want any discrepancies. My number 10, my number 8 is just in case. I was going to do the other Jordan Peele, the cheat code. I'm going to do even though this is a big cheat code because I'm doing a whole family, the whole family from Us, the 2 kids, the dad, and the
tethered family, or the family that survived, minus the mother, because the mother was actually found out to be the tethered one.
The latter.
Yeah.
The second thing you said. Yeah.
Just saying.
And technically, even if she is tethered and she's technically the bad guy, she survived. So technically that counts. She survived the movie. She didn't die. And she was the good guy throughout the whole movie until the little twist.
Yeah.
So I'd say the whole family, I thought they had a great dynamic, and I thought the kids were hilarious. And one of my favorite scenes in horror movie history is when they're like in the car after beating up like the rich white family, like killing all the tethered versions of them, and they're sitting there and they're like counting, like the little girl's like, well, I killed 4 people. You only killed. And the dad's like, listen, I killed him, and him. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, so I have the most say. Like, it was funny.
And the little girl's like, I have the most say because I have the keys to the boat. Now get in.
Yeah. They just had great chemistry, and they were fighting for each other. Mm-hmm. And they were trying to all make it home, and it could have been easy to just kill one of them. Absolutely. Just to put that shock. Exactly. And the fact that they didn't, just to keep that family bond together, I thought was beautiful. And the fact that the son noticed that the mom was tethered at the end, and that's kind of your big, ending.
It's not really even said either.
No, he just looked. Yeah, he knows, and it's insane. And I think it really works with the end of the movie, and I think the whole family, and the fact that they're so close, and the fact that you have little hints that the mom is tethered throughout the whole movie. That's big replayability.
Yeah, rewatch. Like, I got 5 on it, and she's trying to teach him how to do the beats.
But she's having trouble.
But she's having so much trouble trying to keep up with it.
Yeah.
So, just goes to show, you can take her out of the tether world, but she's still going to act like one.
Yeah.
In the long run. But
you can take her out of the tether, but you can't take the tether out of her.
The girl. No, you can't. All right. Number 8. You're going to love my number 8.
Who's your number 8?
Joel the cameraman.
Oh, God.
From Scream 2. Because you know what? No one can disappear like he can. And then come back 24 hours later, not even knowing Gail. Not even knowing anybody or anything to do with anything. And shows up and it's like, hey, Gail, here's your mic. Let's go off like the old days. What old days?
Yeah.
You didn't know her.
No, you didn't.
You were hired from a temp agency.
Yeah.
Like, are you serious? No. She'll know you. So
she'll know you.
So he really, really set to it, especially when they're all doing their investigation and whatnot. And he's like, you know what? I'm done. I'm gonna go get a snack, maybe get some crack, some Malcolm X. I don't care what the hell I'm gonna do, but I'm not picking up what you guys are putting down. I'm done. And then like he comes back out when Randy's dead, and he's like, "What the hell happened in my van?"
So good.
And then he saw it, and he's like, "I'm done. I'm done.
I'm done."
And she's like, Gail's like, "Why? Why?" And he's like, "Did you ever like consider the fact that I never read your book? I just read it, and I just found out that your cameraman got gutted." And she's like, "Oh, that was for Hollywood. He didn't get gutted. His throat got slashed." Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, that's so much better. But he ain't in the union no more."
He ain't in the union. No. Yeah, I love that line. Listen, if we're going based on character performances and the arcs and how they had to fight and struggle to get to the end, against a brutal entity, I don't think Joel's the greatest pick. But if you're going, like, he's the one guy that's
I was told that all we had to do was survivors. You said horror movie survivors.
No, I know. I'm giving you your flowers too. I'm saying if you judge it on a criteria of this guy walked out halfway through the movie and said, "Fuck that. If I put myself in this situation, I'm going to die. I'm leaving." And then he comes back at the end. He's like, "What's up?" That's perfect. And that is something that everyone's like, why is that never in a movie? That's one of the things that puts Scream 2 over Scream 1 for me, because you don't see that in anything where a character is like, "No, fuck that. I'm not dealing with this." And then they come back at the end. It's like, "Hey, I made it. I'm part of the people living.
I survived."
Yeah. And it's like, no, you just fucking bounced on everybody. But
like Jeff in Cabin Fever when he just pieces and leaves.
Yeah. Well, he pays for it.
He doesn't make it.
Yeah. He doesn't meet the end that Joel does. But I do. He's a fun character, and I'm glad that he made it to the end. And I'm glad they haven't really gone back to him since, because that's just leave it the way it is.
Exactly. And like I said, he survived, and I wanted to come up with a list that was different than Daniel's, because we are very alike, hence the fact that we already have one that we
I was going to say
already did. So, like, we're very much alike, but I'm actually really surprised you don't have Joel on yours.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm shocked because I would have thought you would have put him down.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites, but he didn't make the list.
Okay.
But honorable mention for me.
Okay.
10, 9, 8, 7. All right. On number 7, I have, to me, the modern final girl. She has a whole trilogy based off just this character. I'm going to go Maxine from X.
Oh, Mia Goth.
I think Mia Goth's done great work in this franchise. Specifically in the first one, I thought she was a great final girl. Pearl was great too. I have yet to see Maxine, but I'm sure it's awesome.
I heard it was incredible.
I'm sure
I heard a couple of watched a couple of reviews on it, and oh my god, we're gonna love it when we get to see it. We really are. We're gonna gobble it up.
Mia Goth did a good. Here, let's get you more in.
Yeah. Sorry, Daniel and I have a really weird way of saying that we're gonna like stuff.
We're gonna gobble it up.
We're gonna gobble it up.
I think she did a great job in this movie, and anybody like Lorraine, Jenna Ortega's Lorraine was a great character. You had a bunch of different. Brittany Snow was a great. I mean, she was gonna die. You knew she was gonna die.
Though.
Yeah, she can sing.
I'm sorry, she can sing.
Yeah. Like, well, you don't make it into Pitch Perfect.
Good singing Landslide.
Yeah.
They even put tears in my eyes. It was so good.
She went fully naked for that movie, which
they were all supposed to. It was a porno. They weren't supposed to keep their clothes on.
Jenna Ortega did. She's got class.
Well, it was her first time behind the camera, and her boyfriend was filming her, and was not happy about it.
Well, yeah, in the movie. I meant like fully naked for like you see Brittany Snow, all of her. Great movie, phenomenal movie. All right, yeah, Maxine. I think Mia Goth. She worldwide performance. It spawned a whole trilogy, so I think you did an all right job.
Yeah.
What's your number 7?
My number 7 is going to be a little bit controversial here, just because you can kind of see her as not being a survivor, but she is. And that is Thomason from The Vavitch.
The Vavitch.
The Vavitch. I'm never going to call it anything else. I'm always going to call it The Vavitch. That's how it's supposed to be called. And that's what it's going to stay called, is The Vavitch. Thomason is such a weird character to me, because she knows everything that's going down and whatnot, and then she proclaims herself to be a witch without being one.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? Of course your family is going to lock you in a shed.
Yeah.
You dug your own grave.
You dug your own grave.
Of course.
I don't blame them.
So I don't blame them either if my daughter said they were a witch, and all my freaking food started rotting and everything else. Like, no, I would absolutely not.
It's bullshit.
So, shaky.
Oh, bull stuff.
So, but, sorry, YouTube, we're new. But, I mean, I really feel like she did a powerful performance. And I feel like even when Black Phillip approached her, which was her goat that was black, or sheep that was black, he actually talked to her, and she had nothing else in her life. Everyone thought she was a witch. So what does she do? Oh, she joins the coven. I mean, there wasn't really anything else that she could do at that point.
What can you do?
They all thought she was a witch anyway, so she just gave them what they wanted.
Just join a coven. We're bored.
Sorry, excuse me.
You ready for my next one?
Mm-hmm.
My number 6, maybe a predictable one for me. I have Ginny from Friday the 13th Part 2. The greatest final girl.
Not the most predictable, honestly. I thought Tommy Jarvis would be coming before that.
He's coming. Don't spoil the list now, man.
I'm sorry.
He's coming.
You're very predictable. I love you, but you're really predictable.
Well, this is our top 10 favorites, so I have my favorites. That's my favorite. I think Ginny. We've talked about it.
She does do a good job.
And like the TikTok we have going now, if you followed, we did like an episode on that on your TikTok, and I said a lot about how she was a unique final girl because she was strong. It felt like the boyfriend relied on her more than she relied on him. If she wasn't a damsel in distress, she was tough. It wasn't she was just scared and running away. You throw in a little hint that she's got a child psychology degree, and then she uses that to fuck with Jason's head and win at the end.
Yeah,
and
I like how they just sprinkled that in.
And I think all that mixed together makes her one of the more iconic final. To only be in one film, it makes her one of the more iconic final.
I agree, because I would never, ever, ever put on a dead woman's sweater that she was wearing. I would never take a sweater off a skeleton and then rock it.
Never?
I don't know how she did it.
Even
to save my life.
It was kind of a dire situation, Mindy.
I don't know how she did it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to do it.
Okay. Yeah, but for being in one movie, like Nancy, fucking Jamie Lee Curtis, they all come back. She's the only one that didn't come back, even if she was supposed to. So I think she's pretty good for what she was. What's your number 6?
My number 6 is Katie Featherston from the Paranormal Activity series. Because Katie does survive, especially in the first one. Because you see her crawl up to the mirror and whatnot, and she scares shit shakies out of everybody.
Yeah.
So you know that she survived, but then like down the line of the Paranormal Activity franchise, basically, she's there in the second movie because the second movie's a prequel. She's there in the third movie. She's there in the fourth, and then she's gone.
Yeah.
But still, like, she's been through at least 4 movies. She deserves her comeuppance.
100%.
So.
I would agree. Yeah, she's kind of the whole franchise.
Exactly. Like, if her acting wasn't convincing enough, then
she's the wife from the first one, right? Or no?
She's the girlfriend for the first one. The wife is from the second one.
Well, the girlfriend with Micah. She's Micah's girlfriend.
She's Micah's girlfriend.
Now,
idiot.
Not to nitpick, does she technically survive? Because she's like full on possessed.
Yeah, no, but in the third one, when she shows up next door to those people and whatnot, she introduced herself.
Oh, that's true.
I mean, she says that she's a different name. She doesn't say Katie, but she does introduce herself.
That's true. That's true.
Just saying.
One of the endings in Paranormal Activity, she gets shot to fucking pieces, though.
Yeah, like there's other. I'm not gonna deny you of that. There are other versions where she does die and she does get killed. But I'm glad they went with the version that they went with.
Yeah, technically theatrical, she made it. Yeah, she is very important to that whole franchise, and it's one of the biggest horror franchise ever. So.
Yeah, it's becoming that.
That's a good pick. All right. My number 5, rounding out the top 5 here, we have, I brought him up earlier, we have Ash Williams from The Evil Dead.
Ash, get on Ashley.
I think he's one of the best. He is like the Bruce Willis for horror, for B-movie horror. Like he's just, he beats ass. And
manliest man to be called Ashley, just saying.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people can be called Ashley and then get their freaking hand chopped off and then replaced with a chainsaw.
And if you're a Bruce Campbell fan and you don't like Burn Notice, this is like all you have. Like this is his fucking Mount Rushmore of work here. So
kind of, yeah.
I think that I mean, it's an iconic role. A lot like when they did the comic book for Freddy versus Jason, who was the third guy that they threw in there? Ash, because like there's something, and he's a hero. They want to see him fight those two guys. Like you don't get that a lot with. It's a lot of final girls, and even like we talked about Tommy. He's a child in the first one. He's not a badass. Ash is a badass that's kicking ass and taking names. And I think there's something to be said for that, and that's why he's on my list.
I definitely agree. Honestly, I really do. He deserves to be on one of our lists, so I'm glad you mentioned him. Because, I mean, even when they did the TV series Ash vs. Evil Dead, which is coming back, everybody, on Max, but it's coming back. It's an animated adult TV show.
Okay. Don't
know how I feel about it, but we'll have to see where things go.
We'll see when we get there?
Yeah, we'll see when we get there.
All right. Go ahead.
My number 5 is Miss J from It Follows.
Yes.
because she survived. Girl went through hell, but she survived. Don't know how she did, but she did it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, she had like several different creatures coming after her ass.
And she made it.
And she made it. I mean, I'm very impressed.
There's something to be said for that.
Yeah. Very, very impressed. I think that she did a great job. And also, it takes a lot out of a young actress to portray being sexually assaulted, portray that kind of happy to depressed kind of role.
Yeah.
And she does that very, very well, I feel.
I agree.
Like, even though she does end up sleeping with her one friend before, she told him, like, I can't sleep with you because I have no feelings for you.
Well, that was nice of her.
Yeah. Like, I mean, at least she was honest. She could have been like, yeah, let me get rid of this STD demon. But she, should it just be ST demon? Yeah, we're just gonna call it ST demon from now on.
Well, no, because the D still needs to be something else, right? For the STD.
D is for demon.
Oh.
ST demon.
All right, then ST demon.
I just made up a new word.
All right.
Woo!
My number 4. Clarice. Clarice Starling from Silence of the Lambs, played by one Miss Jodie Foster. Why is she on your list too?
No, but I'm so mad.
Why?
That you put her on your list and I didn't because I didn't think of it. So now I'm salty.
But no,
I know the grasshopper has surpassed the teacher.
Yeah. But I think perfect performance from Jodie Foster. I think it kind of made her career. And I also, it's a mystery. It's a murder mystery.
It made her adult career.
Yes.
Because she was famous before this.
Of course. But it kind of put the stamp on it for me, at least. And I think the whole Silence of the Lambs and Wild Bill and that and looking for him and everything, that there's that sector of the movie, and then you have the Hannibal Lecter and Clarice one-on-ones, and that is the meat and potatoes of that movie, and she is one half of that. So her whole performance and her looking for Wild Bill and her dealing with Hannibal Lecter and all that really helped make the movie what it was.
Yeah.
So I think she totally deserves. She is someone that's not thought of because she's not a technical final girl. She's a detective in this thing, but
she's not even a detective.
Yeah.
She's pre-detective.
Yeah, but I think I don't know. It's almost a perfect performance in a perfect movie.
Honestly, I will have to double on saying that it is a perfect performance. Not from her, though, from Anthony Hopkins.
100%.
Honestly, that man still gives me chills. I can't watch that movie to this day without getting the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah.
He's amazing, incredible guy. Nothing wrong with Jodie Foster. I love her. I think she's amazing. One of my favorite actresses. But I'm sorry, but he stole the show.
Well, yeah, but he was supposed to. But you need somebody there to react to it.
Yeah,
and that's what she was.
I mean, I love him. Like, I can sit here and quote him all day. Like, I had his spleen with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
Yeah, that's a classic one. That's a classic.
And I'm sorry, Clarice, but I have to hang up because I'm going to have an old friend for dinner.
Yeah. It's a great line.
If you know, you know.
All right. What's your number 4?
All right. So this is a newer movie, and I love this movie now.
Oh, shit.
I really do. This movie has made it into my heart and soul and has settled there and taken residence. And that is Joey from Abigail.
Okay.
I don't know. I can't tell you why I love this movie so much. But, I mean, it reminds me of Scream anyway. I mean, which it should. The two people that made it. But it's just Melissa played an awesome character.
She did.
She did a really good job.
Yes.
And she made an excellent final girl. And she looks really good covered in all that blood.
I didn't mind it.
I mean, I think she was cute. But, I mean, for her to come back and be in a movie after us being told that she was never going to be in Hollywood again, that was a good comeback
Yeah.
for her.
I think like she had the greatest training of all time to do this.
Absolutely.
Being like
had she not have done Scream movies, she wouldn't have known.
Yeah. And I think like the first one, especially when Sydney's kind of, passing that torch a bit.
Yeah.
Like to go for, like she did as great as Sam too, but by the time she got to Joey, you damn right she's going to be a good final girl. You know what I mean? And I thought her connection with the little girl was what made the movie.
That's what I'm saying too, because even when they do interviews and stuff together, because the girl is so young, she is a minor. She's not that young though. She looks younger than she is. She's 14. But still a minor. Melissa actually gets interviewed with her.
Yeah.
They do their interviews together because she can't be interviewed alone.
That makes sense. All right. My number 3. You ready?
Ready?
I have
Go.
Marty from Cabin in the Woods. We talked about this a long time ago.
We talk about this a lot, actually.
Have we? I need to check.
You do.
I don't talk about Marty that much. But
Cabin in the Woods, I meant.
Yeah, well, Cabin in the Woods is a great fucking movie, or friggin' movie. And Marty is a character that you don't, because you get introduced with him when there's a van full of smoke and he walks out of it, and those guys usually get popped pretty quick. So the fact that Marty, it's kind of like what I was saying about Randy. The Marty is like the everyman stoner, kind of, like an idiot, like just.
Yeah, but did he survive though? Because didn't they end up being captured in those cells and everything?
No, technically not. Technically, he makes it out of the movie. It is implied because they did not make the decision. They didn't kill him. The girl didn't kill him to sit, and they need the sacrifice. They didn't do that. So technically, the world was about to be destroyed, but it wasn't when the credits hit. It was him and her standing there at the end of the world, like waiting for it to happen. So technically, he ends that movie alive. 20 minutes after that, he's probably dead. But at the end of the movie, he's fine. So technically, it's a loophole, and he makes it. I think Marty does a great job as like the stoner. I think he's the brother too.
Yeah.
But it's a fun relationship.
I mean, it's not the worst you could have came up with.
Well, thank you. I think he did a fine job, and a bit annoying, but it's unexpected, and I like unexpected survivors in horror movies. I like it when a movie can throw you, through a loop real quick, and it's like, oh, you think this guy's gonna make it, but he dies, and then this guy makes it. It's like I like shit like that.
Yeah,
and switches it up. So, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is Nika Pierce from Curse of Chucky, Cult of Chucky, and Chucky the TV series.
Oh God.
So Nika's made it out of all 3 so far.
She has. I mean, she got roughed up in the show we were watching, though.
I know, but you haven't seen what like she does afterwards. Like she makes herself into a Terminator kind of thing. It's really cool.
That's sick.
And like she really takes advantage of the fact that she's like not only in the chair, but like Tiffany ruined her life. So
I love that.
Very good story arc. I just really like her because for somebody that's a paraplegic, damn, she could fight.
Mm-hmm.
And she could run. I mean, she couldn't run. Don't get me wrong. It was crawling.
She's army crawling.
But she was still quick enough to make it inside the elevator without Chucky.
I agree.
So, and he moves like a little kid. So that's obviously faster than the rate she's going. So it was very impressive to me to see somebody with those kind of disabilities and those kind of things happening in their life to actually stand up and do the opposite.
Yeah, Nika's great.
Yeah.
I like Nika. Yeah. All right, my number 2, here comes the predictable one, Mr. Tommy Jarvis.
Tommy!
The greatest. He should be number 1, but I went different. He should be, he is the greatest, you see this whole kid evolve from a child, from little Corey Feldman just trying to live his life, to a grown-ass man who might be a serial killer, to an even wackier grown man that still might be a serial killer, but he's a hero now, and it's way more convincing. And he gets the girl, he wears a cool jacket, he's the guy, Tom Matthews that plays him does a great job. And I love Tommy Jarvis. I'm a huge Friday fan. He's the greatest survivor. He's better than Ginny. He's better than all the final girls. You see him develop as a kid. It's extremely relatable and it's extremely. It was different for the time. You didn't have a lot of that in slasher movies, so it was having Corey Feldman do that was kind of iconic in that moment.
Yeah.
And then having him grow up and then be kind of an action hero of the franchise. I think it works, and I think he deserves the spot.
I agree. I'm not going to take it from you.
Yeah.
I agree.
All right.
So my number 2 is Tree from Happy Death Day and Happy Death Day to You.
Oh, shit.
I think Tree is an amazing survivor. I think she did the best at surviving than a lot of people just because of the fact that she changed every time.
Yes.
Every time that she came back to life and had to relive a day, she changed something about herself.
Yes.
And all in all, she became a really good person.
Yeah.
So I think, and that's something that we don't usually see.
You don't see it a lot.
No. Normally, it's like, you have to be a good person to do this. Like, normally it's told to you or something.
Yeah.
But she was able to figure out, I am a female dog, and I should probably tone that down a little bit. Maybe people will be a little bit more respectful of me and try not to kill me if I do this.
Yeah, I think Tree's a great character.
Yeah, she did a really good job at evolving. The actress, I love the actress anyway, but she did an amazing job of evolving.
I would agree with that. All right.
Alrighty.
Is it time for number 1?
It is time for number 1, my friend, unless you want to do honorable mentions first.
If I had an honorable mention, it would probably go to Randy's nieces and nephews, Chad and Mindy, because it's you and me.
Okay.
So it's you and me in a horror movie. So Chad and Mindy.
It's you and me
And all the
and
other people.
people.
My number 1, not in the remake of this movie, because they take a great character and turn him into an absolute pussy and make his girlfriend the badass. But I'm going Jim Halsey from The Hitcher.
Oh, the original Hitcher.
Yes.
I was looking for his name. I thought it was Jim, but I wasn't sure, and I didn't want to say something like different.
It's Jim Halsey. That movie is one of my favorite movies of all time, and those two going back and forth in the performances, and it's a very intimate thing. Having Sean Bean go after the couple in the first one, does not work for me. Or in the remake, go ahead.
The first one is more psychological, gets in your head.
Yeah, it's great performances.
And honest, obvious, awesome performances, as my co-host just said. And the thing that separates the two of them is the remake of The Hitcher is definitely more of an action movie.
Yes.
I will have to say that.
Yes.
I mean, I like it. Actually love it. But it is more of an action thriller suspense movie than it is a horror.
Yeah, and that Rutger Hauer, it was very... The first one, Sean Bean did a good job as the Hitcher, but the guy from the first one, he had the eyes, and he also had the way he was slow and methodical, the way he talked, and it just seemed very scary. And when he would just every sentence, it kind of has you hangs out. They don't make movies like that anymore. Yeah. That's why old movies are better. Is shit like this.
What happened to that old guy in that car? Oh, well, I did chop off his legs.
Yeah, and it's like,
and then I chopped off his arms.
What?
Yeah. And then I chopped off his head.
Yeah.
And Jim's like, what?
Yes. And then in the remake, Jim's an absolute blabbering idiot. His girlfriend's a badass, and he gets fucked up. But in the first one, he is a young man who's just trying to do this thing and live his life, and he goes on the ride of his life, and he grows a lot. He goes on a character arc, and he becomes kind of a tougher individual by the end of it. So I appreciate Jim's character arc, and I appreciate that movie, and that's why it's number 1.
I will have to say that's a really good pick, honestly. I really will have to say that's a very good pick. My honorable mentions, I have 2. Okay. And number 1 is, you can't forget Laurie Strode.
No.
From the Halloween series. You can't forget about Laurie Strode.
No, she's the old jizzle.
And I ain't talking about that one that they had substituting for, like...
No, Jamie Lee Curtis.
Michael Myers. I'm talking about Jamie Lee Curtis. Like, she is amazing. If you guys have never seen the Hulu series called Screen Queens,
Yes.
check it out. Second season isn't really worth watching. Not gonna lie to y'all, but the first season will literally have you in stitches. It is so funny, and they even do like the psycho thing with her in the shower.
Yeah.
Even though her mom was killed in the shower.
Yeah.
So like she's not in the shower, and she's like, I saw that movie 50 damn times. And it's like, oh my god, she probably did.
That's funny. All right. What's your number one? Or no.
No. My other honorable mention, sorry, is Ashley from Better Watch Out.
Okay, that's a good one.
Because you really thought she was dead.
You did.
Until the last second, and they said we haven't won alive.
Yeah.
So I thought she was done for. I thought she was toast. But she made it. So she makes the list. And number one, we all know what this is going to be. Miss Neve Campbell, Miss Sydney Prescott.
Yes.
From the Scream franchise. And I'm finally getting my perfect ending where my favorite writer is becoming a director plus writing with my favorite horror movie actress. I really am. I'm very excited.
You're gonna be pissed when they Drew Barrymore at the fucking first 5 minutes of the movie.
I will be so mad. I will cry worse than I cried with Dewey.
Dude, I would laugh my ass off if we're in the theater. Oh my god, taking you home crying. Everyone's gonna be looking at us.
I would leave, honestly. I would be like, can I get my money back, please? Hey, I'm not doing this.
Because the Dewey one, I had to get you like a paper bag.
Not really. I mean, there is other girls that Daniel heard coming, like, right from behind me.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really crying that much because honestly, I knew he was going to make fun of me. So I was doing a lot of this and holding my mouth shut and making sure I didn't make any noise. So,
no, but Sydney is iconic. She is the best final girl. I didn't put her on my list because I knew she would be on yours. She is the number one. She is the greatest of all time.
She's the GOAT.
She fights. There's so many instances of her being a badass and like fighting and like throwing the chairs at him. And
of course, I'm Sydney. Of course, I have a gun. I'm Sydney Prescott.
Yeah, just 5 movies of brilliance, and if she didn't want to do the last one, I don't blame her. And the fact she's going to come back and finish her story the way she wants to, and
she's help writing it and everything else. So, like, I don't think she's going to Drew Barrymore us.
No, but I think she's great, and I'm glad they didn't go with Drew Barrymore as Sydney as originally wanted, and I'm glad they went with Neve Campbell because that makes the movie. She is the Scream franchise.
I agree.
That's what fucking Wes wanted.
Yeah.
Wes wanted Drew. He got pissed. He almost left when Drew said, "Kill me in the first 5 minutes."
Yep. I mean, it was better than what she could have done, which is I have a contract with a different company. Sorry.
Yeah.
Because she could have just been plain out and honest and be like, sorry, you can't have me.
Yeah.
But at least she said something.
Yeah. It worked, though.
Yeah.
I'm glad history went the way it did because it's iconic.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you want to do next week, Mindy?
What do I want to do next week? I've been watching a lot of movies lately. Okay. A lot of movies. So I'm trying to figure out one that's good.
It's hard to do nowadays.
It's hard to do that nowadays, of course. Have I had you watch Good Night Light yet?
No.
All right, Good Night Light. It's on Tubi.
It's a Tubi movie?
Yeah, but it's a slasher.
Okay.
It's not a Tubi movie. It came from Hulu.
Good Night.
But Good Night Light.
Good Night Light.
Yeah. The poem goes, good night, mommy, good night, daddy, good night, light.
Okay. Yeah, I'll check it out.
So I think you'll love it. It's a traditional slasher. Not traditional, though. Think Foxtrot or Foxtrap and, like, another movie that I can't really peg my answer on. But you know what I mean. Very Foxtrappy.
Yes.
It's a very good movie, though.
100%. Do you got anything else, man?
Honestly, I really don't, except please keep on following us on the TikTok and make sure that y'all are liking this video as well and hitting the subscribe button.
Yes.
And make sure everyone on TikTok is too.
The StabCast My Life on TikTok.
Oh,
And on the YouTube channel, like and subscribe, and we'll keep giving you the badass content that we give.
Yes, we do. So I'm going to set us off with a really good hoo-dee-hoo.
Hootie hoo, and we'll see everybody next time on the next Spooky Sunday.
Bye, guys.